We've lived in this house for about 3 months now, and we came from a place where we had our own well, and I had a really nice reverse osmosis system that, took up quite a bit of space in the basement and was pretty great. And I got really used to the way that water tasted. So the water here, not really my jam. I'm getting used to it, but it doesn't feel right. Like, I don't look forward to drinking it. So I've been looking at some reverse osmosis solutions. We rent, so I don't really want to drill the pipe to put a drain in and stuff for like an under counter or an on counter traditional setup that uses like the 3-stage filters and all that. So I found this thing. It's called the Ecoviva, and yeah, I've been using it all morning. I've ran it multiple times. I think I've ran it 10 times now. This will be time number 11, and yeah, I like it. So let's take a look at it. Now again, this is the Ecoviva. It is a pretty small countertop thing. You can see by my hands there. This has a 5-stage reverse osmosis filtration thing going on inside it. Should get up to, like 1,000 something contaminants should get trapped in that membrane, including chlorine, heavy metals, microparticles, everything down to 0.0001 microns. And it's countertop, which I really like. There is no installation. There is a power cable that you plug in. That is it. You don't have to drill. You don't have to screw into anything. You don't have to do any of that. It claims a 99.9% purification rate with their dual filtration. It has a real-time TDS, total dissolved solids display. I'll show you that when we plug it in. It'll show you the source water and then the pure water, which is the water that it's done. It has a 1.2 liter carafe. It takes about 3 minutes to fill up. There's minimal wastewater. It claims a 3-to-1 pure to waste ratio. I mean, it's easy to verify because you have the container in the back, which I'll show you in a second. And yeah, it's only 4.3 inches by 12.1 inches by 12.1 inches. So it doesn't take up a whole lot of room at all. And this is borosilicate glass. I was expecting it to be plastic, and it's got a nice little bit of heft to it. It's decent. It's gonna take some abuse, but obviously you can still break it. But it's gonna handle your daily stuff that you throw at it. By the time you do the filtrations and the water and everything, you're looking at, per their figure, if you change the filter once a year, they recommend 12 months to change both of them, then it's going to be about 20 cents a day for your water needs. Now, obviously, if you drink a lot more water, you're going to go through those filters faster. If you don't drink a whole lot of water, you're going to go through them a little bit slower. So you just kind of pay attention to the TDS and you'll kind of get an idea when you want to change the filter. They do have NSF, ANSI 58 standard certification and SGS test results. It is ROHS compliant for safety and environmental responsibility. I like it here because we rent, so I can throw this on the counter. That'd be great if you had like an apartment, if you're in a rental house like we are, if you're in an RV, you have a cabin that you go to camp out or whatever. It'd be great. And it's real light. The styrofoam, it fits right into nicely, so you can put it back in the box if you wanted to travel with it and protect it. Pretty good. So let's plug it in and get it going. First, I need to fill the water reservoir back here. Here is the wastewater from the last run. This filled to the 1200 milliliter, 1.4 milliliter, somewhere right in there because I didn't quite fill this to full. It does have a fill line here on the side, which is the max, and that is 2 liters. I had it a little bit under that, and again, that is the wastewater that's left. Now, I'm just going to pour this outside because I live in the desert, and it'd be nice to give it back to the earth instead of putting it down the drain. So let me do that. Let me get this filled back up. It just slides on. These align into a groove, and this holds it in place real easy. Here is how much water we're going to put in there, and as you saw, you'll just have like a little bit left over when it's done because it has that 3-to-1 ratio. So all I do, I'm going to bring you around to the side. All we're going to do is we're just going to pick this up. You just kind of line it up there, and there it goes on. And then you're supposed to put this back on. All we're going to do is we will plug it in. But before we do that, let me walk you through when you first set this up. There'll be a couple pieces of tape. You remove them. You take this out. You wash the carafe. You wash this. It's in the instructions. It's literally like a page. It's easy. Then what it's going to do when you first plug it in, it's going to back flush. You're going to go ahead and dump and discard that. You're going to back flush again, go ahead and discard that. Then you're going to run this 3 to 5 times so it can clear all of the manufacturing powders and stuff out of the filter. That's standard with any water filtration, anything. And then like with a proper reverse osmosis, you're supposed to dump the first like 5 to 10 gallons, depending on the system. This, you don't have to do nearly as much. So you do that and then you're ready to go. Now I'm going to plug it in and it's immediately going to start the back flush. We'll show you that. Don't be alarmed if you plug this in and it takes a minute. Sometimes I found it went to it right away like it did there, and other times it took like 10 seconds. Could just be my outlet, I guess. Now all it's doing is it's doing a little back flush of the filters and everything. I'm going to show you the front real fast. It's got that TDS reader there, and it's showing us this. It'll get about to 240, 250 in my experience, and then this will stop. Obviously that might differ on your water. That's just what I've noticed with my water. And it does have these indicators to show you presumably when to change the filter. They're green right now. I imagine they turn red. I really like this thing. And then over here, we have some distilled water. We're gonna test, I'm gonna taste each one. We have the water from our faucet, and then I have a different Nalgene that I'll put the water from the carafe of this in. And then I'll kind of give my thoughts and compare together. I have an idea because I've been drinking it all morning. I want to test the distilled water compared to it before I make my final. Probably my only complaint is how long the reset flush takes. So all we're going to do now is you pick how many liters you want, 0.4, 0.8, or 1.2. I'm going to do the 1.2 and it immediately starts. And we'll just let you hang out here. We'll go to about 400 milliliters, I'll pause, and then we'll come back for the last like 200 milliliters or so, just to let you see kind of how fast it fills up. Like, I'm pretty impressed with that. Since it's using a pump to pump the water through there, it's a lot faster than the reverse osmosis system I had at our old house, because that was just using the water pressure, and our water pressure wasn't city water pressure, it was our well's water pressure, which is quite a bit lower. That's another reason I didn't want to do an under sink one here, is because the water pressure here is not city water pressure, and it's not even as much pressure as my well had. It is lacking. So I was really looking at these countertop solutions that used a little bit of electricity, and I'm pretty happy. So we're at the 400 milliliters there. We'll pause. I'll come back when it gets a little higher. Now, it's not the easiest thing to see, but notice the one water level here and the other water level here. So that's your discard over here. And then it's pulling that. I'm going to move you around to the front, and you can see this is the source water TDS. So it is going up as it does it. But then now that it's done, we can come and see the pure TDS, and then it shows it to us right there. Or you can go back to the source TDS. I'm gonna go and take the carafe here. And then again, this is tap water for me to test if I don't spill it everywhere. I'm gonna start with the well water. Well, I assume it's coming from a well because we're in the desert, and yeah. Okay, yeah, tastes like like what I don't like. Has a very like high-end water bottle taste. I've made a mess here. And then I wanted to test it next to the distilled water, because distilled water is too far. Let me taste that. Yeah. Okay. Now, this tastes far different than the reverse osmosis system I had. Our total dissolved solids here are actually not too bad. I was in like the 7,000 total dissolved solids off of our well in Indiana. And even after I treated it, it would still be like 1,000. So this tastes a whole lot more like, again, high-end filtered bottled water. Whereas the distilled water is like so pure that it almost tastes like chemically, because there's just nothing there. Again, you don't really want to drink distilled water a lot, but for science. That's actually going to take me getting used to now, because it's so good. I don't feel anything in there, whereas I do with the, let me grab the tap water. Yeah, that just tastes like, I've always described it since we moved here as like it tastes old, or it tastes like it's been sitting around or something, because somewhere around here it pumps out for the schools and for us, and I imagine it's going into some giant tank or cistern or something, and then yeah. So I'm really happy with this. I almost feel like I need to transition into it by like doing half and half. Yeah, I like that a lot. I definitely like this. I'm going to order some more filters right now just so I have them on hand. I always did that with our reverse osmosis in Indiana too. I kept a whole year of membrane and filters and stuff. But yeah, I'm very happy with that. I'm excited to see my wife try it tonight and see what she thinks of it. But I'll have a link to this in the sticky comment in the description. I give it 2 thumbs up. I'm very happy. It's nice and compact. I can keep it over there by the sink, or I can keep it here on the island or whatever, and it's not going to take up a whole lot of room. Plug it in when I want to use it. And there you go. But I'll see you guys in the next video.